Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about a series called The Boys. It's a superhero series. It's on Amazon Prime. Came out July the 26th, 2019. And we are following seven superheroes. They are from an organization called VOT. And we're following their lives and how they interact with the public. So, the first episode, it focuses on one superhero, the speedster of the organization called A Train. He kills a civilian, and her boyfriend is now taking revenge on him. So the boyfriend's name is Huey. So right now he is on a revenge path to take down this speedster called A Train. During the first episode, we also meet another civilian called Butcher, and he meets up with Huey, and they form an alliance to try to take down A Train and the rest of the seven, which are the superhero names, the superhero organization that work for this big multi-million dollar company called VOT. So they come up with this idea to plant a bug in that organization to try to get some dirt to use against them. But one of the superheroes called Translucent found the bug and confronted them, but he gets captured in the process. Now, the thing about this company is they market superheroes. Like they give them to different states in the country, and that's how they get money to keep their business growing. So during Translucent's capture, he tells Huey and Butcher about this Compound V. So they're a bit curious to find out what this Compound V is, but they can't let him go because he has other superhero friends. So eventually they kill him. They plant a bomb in his butt because they can't destroy his skin, can't damage his skin. It's made of a diamond. So they blow him up with a bomb they placed in his butt, and he explodes. So that's really the summary of episode one and episode two. And we move on to episode three, where they are following A Train to try to get some more information on this Compound V to find out why it's so important. Why was he carrying this Compound V when he killed Huey's girlfriend? So they follow him to this race. There's a big race that happens every once in a while to find out if A Train is actually still the fastest superhero alive. So they were unsuccessful to get the drug from him at the race, but he has a girlfriend called Popclaw. She's also a superhero, and she uses Compound V. It's like a drug for the superheroes. They get high and they get their powers heightened, and they get so much stronger, like their senses just heighten, and it elevates their superpowers. So she kills her landlord by accident, and the boys, Huey, Butcher, Frenchie, MM, they go in and they use it against her to try to find out where A Train is bringing these drugs so they can get a sample of it. So A Train finds this out, and Vought orders him to kill her, cut all loose ends, seal up all the loose ends. So that happens. And there was another part in episode four where Homelander and me were on a mission to try to save a plane that was taken over by terrorists. And it went south. The mission went south. They killed the pilots by accident, and they destroyed all the controls. So Homelander, turns out he's not really all that a good guy. He just comes up with this plan, this decision to let the plane crash and let everybody on the plane die as well as the terrorists. And that's exactly what happened. They just watched the Flight 37 crash into the ocean, and there were no survivors. It's really ridiculous. It is crazy. So we're back on to Huey and Butch trying to get some more information on this Compound V and how they can use it against these superheroes. And in episode 5, it turns out that these superheroes weren't actually born superheroes. They were actually babies that the Vought company planted these compound V drugs into them and turned them into superheroes. So it gets wild. So right now they're just trying to get some more proof to bring to the CIA and the government to let them know that Vought is running these illegal drugs in the hospitals on these babies that were just born to make superheroes so they can use them to market them to other cities and other countries so they can get more money. It's crazy. And that's exactly what's happening. And in episode 6 now, Huey and Butcher, they go to a like a alcohol anonymous, but it's collateral damage support, where all these survivors from the escapades of the superheroes, how they come together and they're sharing all their, their stories about how the superheroes saved them, but they left them in a semi-vegetative state, and some of their limbs are gone, some of their spines are busted, so they gotta sit in a wheelchair for life. And there's this one guy that works for Vought. He works in marketing, where he's the writer. He like gives the superhero scripts to talk in public and all of that, do speeches. Turns out he's also a part of the collateral damage supporters group, and he, man, his story was really sad because he was having sex with one of these superheroes, and she has freezing abilities. All right, so when they were having sex and during her climax, she turned into ice, and when she did that, he was still inside her, so his dick turned into ice and then it snapped off. So now he doesn't have a penis. So, you know, that was just sad because, she was the only girl that really gave a damn. And that's when we actually found out what happened to Butcher's wife, that Homelander raped her, and she got pregnant with his kid, and he thought she committed suicide, but actually she never. It turns out the baby that Homelander impregnated her with, it was growing at an exponential rate, and he killed her, and the baby died in the process as well. Yeah. So what the boys, that's what they call themselves, what they did was they tried to get another superhero that can read minds. Like he has to touch you so he can read your mind, called Mesmer. They used him to try to get some more dirt, or try to get some like upper hand on the society, on Vought. But turns out he was actually working for Homelander. So that plan went sideways, and now he has all their information, gave it to Homelander. So now the Vought organization, the Seven, knows that these guys are looking for him, and they're on a path to try to, squash this before it gets too much traction. So that's what happened. And it turns out as well that there's a conspiracy going around that Vought is actually creating supervillains with the same compound V, so the superheroes can fight them, so that they can, be more popular, get more marketing, get more money. This company is garbage, bro. This company is evil. Yo, this show is crazy. I tell you, bro, you'll never get bored. You never get bored of the show. During the series, there's a new hero called Starlight. She's, the rookie of the group. She's getting to try to get a feel of the Seven, trying to be a part of the clique. And she meets Huey, the guy from The Boys, and they form a little bond together. And eventually they had sex in episode 7, and they were getting kind of close. And Butcher was trying to use that in order to get Huey more access into the Seven, so he can get more information from the Seven, so they can use that against the Seven. Then they found out when Mesmer gave Homelander all the information, they had this meeting and found out everything, and they were about to take her out, but she didn't know, bro. She was so clueless. She didn't know that he was using her, or they thought he was using her to get to them, but that wasn't the case. He really was. They really were forming a bond together. So finally, the CIA got a hold of Compound V, and they confronted Vought to let him know, hey, we're not getting your superheroes in the military because we know what you're doing with Compound V. You're making these superheroes illegally using babies. And before they could get the deal to be done, a super terrorist showed up on the radar. So now they have to be working with Vought to try to take out these superhero terrorists. So Vought dodged a bullet, and now Huey, Butcher, Frenchie, MM are on the run from not only Vought, but the CIA and the government. Because they're all working together to fight these super terrorists and to lock them up because of Vought and the deal that they made. Yeah. And last but not least, we're down to episode 8, the finale of season 1. And Homelander goes into a stronghold and he kills all the terrorists, finds out that they have Compound V. The government finds out that, so they gave the government, let them know, Compound V, all the terrorists have it. That's how they're making super terrorists. But Vought wasn't the one doing it. Homelander was the one that was giving Vought all across the country to these different nations, these different terrorist groups to create these super terrorists so he can get more popularity to save the world, for his pride, his ego, and also to get more money for Vought. It's crazy, fam. And that's what happened. He was using A-Train to run those drugs across the globe. And during one of those runs, he accidentally kills Huey's girlfriend. That's how everything happened. That's how everything ties together because of Homelander. He's the one that started all of this. And then, to make matters worse, Becca didn't die. Butcher's wife, she never got raped. She cheated on him with Homelander. And they have a kid. I think he's around 8 or 9. And he has superpowers. So my theory is, during this season finale, Homelander, I think they're using his blood to make this Compound V, to make these other superhumans, because I don't think he's one of them. I think, the Clark Kent story, they probably did something like that. He was an alien from outer space, and they're just using him. They grew him in a lab, and they're using his blood or his thing to make more superhumans, to make money. And that's pretty much how it ends. And so Homelander kills the CEO of Vought because he had this weird thing for her, and she wasn't telling the truth because he didn't know about Becca. He didn't know he had a kid. They tried to sweep it under the rug. I think they were just trying to make another Homelander. So because they, thought that he was a failed experiment, so they were making another one. And he found that out. And he killed his father, his creator, and then he killed the CEO of Vought, Stillwell, and brought Butcher to the place where his wife is and the new son. And that's how it ends. Season 2 is going to be very interesting. And I implore you to get on this train, get on this bus right now, because we're going full speed ahead on season 2. Thank you again for coming and listening to me talk. Stay safe.